Hello everybody, I need to do a presentation on the significance of July the 7th. I'm not guessing at this is all on the calendar that Yah has given us. So this is called Miracle Day, okay? And here we are, we're looking at the significance of Miracle Day and the significance of the place. I did a video before about Angels of the Harvest from last year, and I was asking for Yah to bring the miracle harvest. But what we have here is now we've started the Jubilee already, and we have a concept which is how you count on God's calendar. Yah counts the days from basically Passover is the 14th day of the new year. So anyways, you count forward, you end up going to July the 7th, 2018, and you count the days, and that equals 112 days. But there's a direct connection to a word that has the value of 111, and that's the word in Hebrew for filet. I used to pronounce it falah. Okay? I'm going to try to stay very concise and straight to the point here. I have different thoughts. I'm trying to not just go back and forth. So let's keep the flow going here. So filet is also in the word for ha-filet, and I'm not professing to be a rabbi, but it's obvious. You can just get a Hebrew English dictionary and look this up. Ha-filet, I should have wrote down here, this is miracle. This is the word for miracle, and this is the word for how wonderful. Ha-filet. That's ha-filet, how wonderful. And of course you add the value of the letter hey, and that equals 116. See that? 111 plus 5 equals 116. But I'm focusing on this July the 7th. See there? The focus is on that, and I can make a reference to lots of different scriptures, but the one that really gets my attention is Isaiah 43. (18 and 19). And you can read the whole chapter yourself. There's different components to the presentation of what is the miracle that Yahuwah is doing in that prophecy. Now, as you know, we got to remember there is a fact, and it's a fact. The cycle has already started since 1917. We're in a jubilee year. Started the last Day of Atonement on 2017. So here we go. But the miracle does not depend on a Day of Atonement. It depends on the word of Yah himself. And he can use one word to start any process. He created the world in 6 days. So anyway, I'm not going to make a big deal about genealogy and history. But this is the part that intrigues me. Okay, July the 7th. If you do an abbreviation of July the 7th, it is the end of the abbreviation 7-4 and then -7. So this is like saying the 7th month The 4th day is the Independence Day, and then here's the 7th at the end of it. And so what do you get? You get a picture. I'll call it a stickman jet, which is a 747. There is no other date on the calendar that makes this number. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it anywhere. And for this to show up then like a key when you put it in your door, whenever you want to lock your house or whatever, when you put the key in the door, it opens the door. And this 747 shows up and completes the sequence, kind of like tumblers in a lock. I don't want to say anything wrong here. I'm just a student. But y'all bless me and bless you all as you listen to this. As a tumbler opens a lock, you got 3 numbers that opens the lock, and this occurs during the Jubilee year, and it's one day after day 111. See there? Philae. Miracle Day, Philae. And of course, that day 1-1 equals Friday, July the 6th. So, I can predict something, but only Yah knows exactly what He's got planned. But you know what I can ask Him for? I can ask Him, is this a credible view of a key that opens a door, and the tumblers are 747. Now, when you read Isaiah 43, he's saying, I will do a new thing, and verse 19 says, I will open up rivers in the desert. So that's why I took a picture, took a zoom in on this spot right here. This is the desert. This is the wilderness predicted in Isaiah 43 and Isaiah 41, talking about rivers and high places, and when you read it. So, I'm leaving myself out of this. I don't need to be the one. Here it says 747 right there in my time count. Isn't that wonderful? I'm thankful I got that on that Sinai picture right there in the 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Okay, so, I'm pretty thrilled to be able to share this with you. Now, Hafala, how wonderful. When someone says how wonderful, that means they've come into they're walking in the place. They maybe it's already been prepared for them before they get there. Obviously, because they're surprised. So that means the event preceded their arrival. And so let's go on now with this July 7th. Okay, so we can also transfer, let's go down here and transfer the abbreviation of July the 7th. And let's do something else. When we do an abbreviation of that time, we can do a sequence of numbers. July the 7th, 7-7, at 7. Sounds like something from the movie Bruce Almighty. But anyway, 7-7-7. So that's July the 7th at 7. At 7 a.m. or 7th hour. Well, on Yah's way of calculating time, the time starts in the evening at sunset, so the 7th day of July, so let's say sunset is at 9 p.m. and go forward 7 hours. That equals, let's see, that's kind of exciting. So that's 4 a.m. in the morning on 7/7. So instead of people thinking, oh, it's 7 p.m. or 7 a.m., it's actually, 4 a.m. So what's the magic of 4 a.m.? Well, of course, ever since I was a kid, I knew that 777 was a lucky number, and it's it's on the slot machines in Vegas. But we're looking for something that's Hafala, how wonderful. We're looking for something like that, and I'm not doing, juggling numbers and multiplication, division, and going all over the place. I'm trying to stay on a theme here, and one thing explains the next. So, 7th of July, that's 7. That's 7 hours. I'm not giving credibility to calculating the time like it is from midnight and then calculate to 7 a.m. on our clock. Can't do that. We've got to come out of Babylon. We got to make a transition in time. So transition in time also leads to a transition in place and transition in how we calculate time and how we live. Now this place here, obviously, you see it's just a kind of like an extension of Egypt. They got the places right here, down here where the big fancy hotels. The Egyptians like to go to all this stuff, and got major cities, and so the population that's there gets to come under a new jurisdiction, or else they need to go ahead and expatriate themselves, and hopefully Yah will give them a peaceful place to live when they don't want to live there. So that's easy. Anything's easy for Yahweh to do. So let's look at this again now. 4 a.m. equals the 7th hour, and I'm just calculating it based on 9 p.m. Now, the event that I want is this, and Revelation 12:14. To the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, which I said, of course, is Sinai. But the miracle day is day 111. So when does she fly? Well, it looks to me like the number 747 doesn't show up until on July the 7th. And there is the tumbler. There's the combination. So there's numbers and everything. There's numbers in the universe. Everybody knows that. I mean, even in the chemical bonds and configurations. There's 6 carbons in a benzene ring. There's 6 sides to a snowflake. I mean, that wasn't something that someone invented. Yah Almighty, He invented the snowflakes. So numbers are what we're working with, and numbers have meaning. And here's the meaning of the number 111. But that's July the 6th. Okay, here we are. We're like, that's tomorrow. What would Yah do on a miracle day? That's what I wonder. But then on a Saturday, 747 shows up, 7-4-7. I had to put it differently because that means the 4th, and this means the 4th through the 7th. But the focus is to make sure that it is manifested as a number and as a concept of flying for Saturday the 7th. I would entertain some other ideas, but so far that's all that's been revealed to me. Okay, so there's so many things we could say about the transition of things for Sinai. He's gonna take it away from the Egyptians. He's gonna make it like, he's just gonna recreate things. He's gonna make mountains and forests and Be some mountains in here that are shaped like the letter Tet. And right in here will be a range of mountains that's very, very high, probably the highest in the world that he will have right here, and it's different mountains in this area. This will be called Sabbath Mountain, and there's different ones down here. So anyway, I guess Miracle Mountain would be right over here somewhere. And of course, Sinai would be down here. I'm going to call this range right here. There's an opening to this. This would be Isaiah 41 mountains. Anyway, that's maybe I should draw a dotted line. And it kind of looks like this. That's Sabbath Mountain, Isaiah Mountains, Miracle Mountains, Sinai Mountains, and that's Mount Sinai. It's Moses Mountain. I mean, that's what I meant to say. Moses Mountain, and then Sinai Mountains. Of course, it's right there where it says Sinai. There is no Sinai. There is no history of them crossing the Red Sea over here. That's nonsense. That's just a bunch of people that had a shipwreck. It crossed right here, or right here, but I'm expecting it is right here. So staying on the subject, this is the important thing. So July the 7th. How wonderful that would be. Well, if I fast forward it to the value of the number 116, then that's, let's see, Saturday plus 5 more days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. So Thursday would be the how wonderful point right there. How wonderful. Okay. So that would equal July Oops, it's supposed to be the Wednesday. So July the 6th plus 5 equals July the 11th. And it's a Wednesday. July the 11th. Let me make sure that's right. So Saturday, Sunday the 8th, Monday the 9th. Yep. I want to be exact on this. Okay, let's see what we know. We know the number is equal, they match, and the number, the value of the word matches. We know the event will match the number, and the jubilee, you know, we're in a jubilee year. Jubilee does not expire until this fall of 2018 and the Day of Atonement, which is Yom Kippur. And this is summertime. Here we are. Okay, so maybe we should get to a subject that's important for people to know what to expect. Alright, you got two kinds of people coming here, and it means he starts a harvest, and it's like getting a garden, gathering the fruit in the garden, and he calls it the wheat harvest. And here we are, lo and behold, we are in a wheat harvest. And it starts on Feast of Weeks. So from May the 14th to July the 4th, equals 50 days. Well, let's see, that lands on the 13th. But anyway, there's our Feast of Weeks right there. May the 14th was the 7th Sabbath. 7th Sabbath after Passover. You go 7 Sabbaths plus 50 days, not meshed all together. It's not concurrent, it's consecutive. 7 Sabbaths plus 50 days. How beautiful. And of course that brings us real close to the miracle day. And what is the miracle day? It is Isaiah 43:18 and 19 and Revelation 12:14. Revelation 12:14 in a number abbreviation can only be on our calendar 7-4 through 7. But I have to admit, that's Gregorian calendar, July the 7th, but it does match up with Miracle Day. I also have to be open to the fact that, this is not the 7th month and the 4th day of the 7th month. 4th day of the 7th month is the time that leads up to Day of Atonement. And of course, the Day of Atonement would be the 10th day of the 7th month. So this is Tishri, the 4th through the 7th. So I can't ignore that. But it's almost like, asking the question, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And so that number shows up on Yah's calendar, Tishri 4 through 7. Undisputed. But on the Gregorian calendar, here we go, July the 7th. July 4 through 7 lands right here on day 112. So what is it about day 111? Well, it counts from the beginning of the year as Yah counts the days. Miracle Day. So it has merit. It has a lot. It has credibility. It has the fullness of meaning of miracle. Now, I could write down, Miracle Day. You've got 111 plus day is Yom, and then add that all up. I mean, we could make a sentence and we could do stuff, but if you just want to say it succinctly, miracle. Okay, so let's make a prediction. And when I say we, let's make a request. Because all we can do is make requests. We can't make predictions. Yah didn't tell me anything that I can have a request and then it turns into a miracle on this day. But here I'm going to be just like a child of God. I'm going to ask like a child and say, can I have a miracle on that day? Okay? Can I have this miracle? This Isaiah 43 and Revelation 12:14 miracle on that day. So you see, this all turns into a big request. And what's the bottom line? Is July the 7th. That's the bottom line. At the 7th hour. 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And what is that? And that represents the 7:47 at 4 a.m. Saturday morning. Intriguing. Now, if I write down just simply the number, let me see if I can do this now. 777, that equals 747 plus 30. And when that's written in Hebrew, that means 2 the 747. The letter Lamed means 2. Now, isn't that incredible? You see what I'm getting at? When you actually go to a 747, that implies that you are boarding. It's boarding time. And there's going to be a lot of people that say, oh, how wonderful, boarding time. But anyway, that's day number 112. So, the miracle always precedes the day of the event. That's what I'm seeing, like a preparation. And we know that that adds up to 747 plus 30 equals 777. So the boarding time, 777, 4 a.m. Well, whose time would that be? Is it my time, or is it the time that's given to the prophet? You know, Yah says He will reward His servants, the prophets. So will He do it at the time of where the servant wakes up at 4 a.m.?